we're doing today? Scale of 1 to 5. 5's all around, is that? Okay, there's a 4. I'm feeling a 5 because I just bought some new shoes. And that makes me about 5'11" when I'm standing in these bad boys. And that makes me feel very important and powerful. So I would like to share a small story with you this morning. This happened to me a couple of days ago. I'm sitting in my living room with my roommates, and I'm doing what I always do, which is thinking about art. And my roommate turns to me and she says, you know, I'm kind of impressed. It's February, and it's cold outside. It's cold outside, I'm kind of depressed, and really what I could go for right now is just some chocolate. And I said, I understand, I can feel your pain. I have some chocolate chips in the cupboard, help yourself, knock yourself up. She's like, no, that's not going to cut it. What I really want is chocolate and peanut butter and candy coating. I'm talking chocolate, peanut butter, M&Ms, okay? I'm like, I don't know how to help you. You can go to the gas station, you're a grown woman, you go get some. So, you know, she's like, oh, that's all right, I'm just going to keep doing my homework. And we go back to what we're doing. I'm thinking about art, she's like studying. And then, all of a sudden, let's get this up. All of a sudden, I noticed something kind of bizarre going on. Besides the fact that this panel doesn't want to open. This is it. I look up and I see that my roommate is staring at her computer, but she's got her hand out like this in front of her. So I'm looking at her, what is she doing? And then I look up and I notice there's this large black storm cloud above my roommate in my living room. Okay. And suddenly, the storm cloud starts to drop little pieces of candy-coated chocolate into her hand. Chocolate, peanut butter, M&Ms. Can you believe it? Okay, and so some of you are probably really worried about me, and some of you are probably thinking Miss Fargo is a liar and she's lying to us. And that's true. I did make up the last part of the story, but that's not because I like to lie to you guys. In fact, usually you can trust everything I say. In this case, the reason that I'm lying to you is because we're beginning our unit on surrealism. Oh, come on. We're beginning our unit on surrealism. And the experience that I've described to you, had it actually happened to me, would be described as extraordinarily surreal. So before we get into reading any surrealist artworks, I just want to make sure that we have an understanding of what the word surreal means. So I passed out some paper to you. I didn't pass out paper to you, I'm sorry. If you just want to use a blank piece of paper and brainstorm with the people at your table and kind of talk through, we're going to be using a method called Leah's PReP. Yes, ma'am?
Ms. Fargo, we need another sheet.
Oh. You can also just use a blank sheet of paper. We use whatever. We're also just brainstorming. So what I need you guys to do is talk amongst yourselves, write down any ideas that come up. I want you to think about potentially a definition of surreal or some characteristics, maybe some examples, things that you think of when I say the word surreal. What does it mean to you for something to be surreal? Everybody take just another 30 seconds or so to wrap up your ideas. Look at that mermaid. You got it. You got it. Okay, let's wrap up. Can I have your attention up here, please? Okay, does anyone want to give me some examples of what they thought of? Anybody? Yes, Allie?
Hannah said something that deviates from reality.
What else? Deviates from reality. Kristen?
We said hard to believe.
Yes, I'm inspired by the subconscious. Inspired by the subconscious. Ooh. Anybody else?
We thought of a gorilla with a giraffe head. We drew it.
Oh. A gorilla with a- Okay, those are all, oh, you got Megan.
We have dreamlike.
Dreamlike.
You have to do a unicorn.
I need a burn. Okay, so this is an awesome starting point for us. What we're going to do now is we're going to go back to these words and we're going to delve a little bit deeper into them. We're going to kind of figure out what about these words is surreal to you. So somebody said deviates from reality. What made you say that?
I said that because usually the surrealist works I've seen have elements of reality, they're not totally abstract, but nothing is always 100% like we see it.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, well, what made you see a gorilla with a giraffe head?
Because it says surreal right in the name, and we picture something that wasn't necessarily real, so we combine two things that are real together to make something that wasn't
So
real.
you combine two things, that's an important point. Okay, so you guys basically have, does anyone want to add anything to this list, by the way? We're pretty comfortable with that? You guys have a pretty great definition of surrealism. I'm going to read you what the dictionary says is surrealism. Let's do this the old-fashioned way. Okay, so this is an art movement and a literary movement that began in the 1920s, which attempted to express the workings of the subconscious mind, so we said dreams. And it's categorized by fantastic imagery, so gorilla with a giraffe head, and incongruous juxtaposition of subject matter. What does that mean? Anybody? Incongruous juxtaposition, yeah, madam.
Juxtaposition is putting three or more items together that are unrelated. So
Okay.
like baseball
Good.
and a cupcake and a bird.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly like that. So that is very surreal, that image. So now that we know how to understand what surrealism is, I'm going to give you guys a very informal test. We're going to start reading some surrealist artworks, and I need you to tell me why they are or not considered surreal. So, can anybody tell me what this is? Is this a surrealist artwork? What is it a picture of? Yeah. Sure. It's kind of a beach. Does it look surreal to you based on how we described surrealism? Sam shook his head. What do you think? You don't think it
I
looks
don't think
surreal?
it is.
Why do you think? Sorry to call you
It
out.
seems like I could actually see it, I guess.
Yeah. Kristen?
I think it's surreal because it's kind of cloudy around, so it seems dreamlike, and it does look a landscape at first glance, but it could also be just a shape, I feel like.
Okay, interesting. And you guys are both kind of right because I was trying to trick you. I'm sorry. This is actually just a snippet of a painting that you've probably all seen. This is the top right corner of a very, very surrealist painting. And this is probably the most famous surrealist, Salvador Dali. You've probably seen this painting before. Why is this painting as a whole surrealism as we described it?
Well, clocks when they melt don't normally look like that.
Yeah. what incongruous juxtaposition of subject matter I would pen.
There's also a weird sleeping blob.
Yeah, there is. What is that? I don't know what that is. Yeah.
That's the artist profile, which he includes in most of his films.
Good for you. Yeah, I've heard this is supposed to be, I think, his nose,
Yeah, but use that.
but it is all very dreamlike and very mystical, so. I've got one more for you. You see it? Yeah.
Oh.
Okay, moving on, I apologize. This is another very famous surrealist by the name of Rene Magritte. And I think it's pretty obvious by now why this is a surrealist painting. If I take the train out, is it a surrealist painting? No, that's your mom's chimney. And if you put the train there, it becomes very surreal. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing surrealist landscapes of our own. So for the rest of the class period, I want you guys to brainstorm starting points. So we're going to think of a real landscape and we're going to make it surreal. So I want you guys to brainstorm about 20, maybe 30 different locations that you can take, and we're going to then transform them into a surrealist picture. Thank you.